The Vice President of the United States touched down in Western New York today. Mike Pence was here to help raise money for Republican Congressman Chris Collins and to also talk tax reform.
And tonight we are digging deeper into his visit today with a closer look at what was discussed, how much money was raised, and also the protesters who greeted Congressman Collins and Vice President Pence outside today's fundraiser. And we begin our team coverage with 2 on your side's Dave McKinley. Dave?
Well, here in Lancaster, Vice President Pence came to Performance Advantage Company. He spoke to about 75 invited guests for about 40 minutes, and the topic was the proposed first major overhaul of the U.S. tax code in more than 30 years. After a tour of the place with company founder Dick Young, the vice president sat with a host of small business owners to talk tax reform.
I'm here to hear from each and every one of you as the debate begins in Congress in the coming weeks.
Most of what he heard back was positive about the plan to slash small business taxes from 35% to 25%. Young said taxes are the bane of small business, especially in New York.
When New York gets through, he eats a lot.
You know, I feel like small business often gets forgotten.
Richard and Rachel Budd started their small firm, Goodrich Coffee, a couple of years ago. The vice president seemed stunned, repeating back to them what they told him.
You pay more in state and federal taxes than you take out of the business.
Chuck Marquetta started a company called Engineered Thermal Solutions less than 2 years ago. The idea of a simplified tax code as promised by the Trump plan appeals to his wife, Colleen.
And also the time he spent on accounting. He should be spending that time growing his business. He should be learning more about what he's doing. He should be pushing growth, not figuring out loopholes in the tax code and how to handle all of this that's so new to him right now.
You couldn't have said it better. I mean, you put the numbers on what the American people spend in terms of time and money filling out their taxes.
Kelly Culp Burton is an architect whose firm specializes in net zero energy efficient homes.
And something that entices the owners to spend that extra money on the solar, the geothermal systems are incentives that come through the government.
Her concern is that those tax credits, a hallmark of the Obama years, might disappear under the Trump plan.
We want a flatter, fair tax rate system, but other than that, some of those historic energy incentives I expect to remain in place unless Congress decides otherwise. But we'll carry that back into the debate, okay?
While this was a small event, it was nonetheless an official one, and that's good news for Congressman Chris Collins in particular, because it means technically his campaign won't have to pick up the cost of bringing the vice president to Buffalo, where he also did some fundraising on Collins's behalf.